everyone. It's Ashley with CourtReserve. We are so excited because today is our very first Courtside Conversation. This has come from feedback from so many of you who said, hey, CourtReserve's great, but I would love best practices around certain ideas or functionality that the clubs and facilities are using. And so we actually had a summer camp webinar about 6 or 8 weeks ago. And there were so many questions that we thought, why don't we make summer camp the first courtside conversation? So we have some CourtReserve club experts who are also experts in summer camps joining us today. So before we get started, don't forget that we're recording this, and we will also we'll put it on YouTube a little bit later, so you can send it out to friends who may have missed it. But you always know that I want to talk to you about Catalyst. So Catalyst is our 1.5-day super user conference. We're going all around the country. So we're going to Columbus in April, Detroit in May, Denver in July, Toronto in August. We do have a couple other locations up our sleeves, but it's great for your operators, your front desk, your admins, your directors, your instructors to come and spend a day and a half. The first half day is all best practice roundtable discussions. And then the second day is full on teaching in CourtReserve. What's new? What's everything? So you can go out to courtreserve.com, go to Catalyst, sign up. It's $99 and we feed you 2 meals. It's well worth it. So get registered today. Our next pickleball mastermind is going to be in June. They just did one last week in Utah. Went swimmingly well. So much great pickleball information. So you can reach out to Devin at Pickleball Club Mastermind and learn more about that as well. And then if you live under a rock, you probably haven't heard about public booking yet. So public booking and our new Google integration should be ready in the next couple of weeks. And we're really excited. So if you need more about public booking, please let me know. So I want to go ahead and introduce my guest. We have Isabella from Lifetime Activities in the San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome. Thank you so much. We have Catherine and Sam from one of our Dill Dinker locations in the Maryland area. And then we have Alex from Hollow Rock Racket and Swim in Durham, North Carolina, a longtime CourtReserve club. So the way that we're going to run Courtside Conversations today is this is really all about summer camp best practices. So if you have questions, which we certainly hope that you will, we hope that you'll put them in the question and answer or the Q&A. We're going to go around and let them kind of talk about what they do, how they handle summer camps, and then we're going to go through some questions. But if you have questions, please go ahead and feel free and put them, and we'll answer them as we go along. Okay. So Isabella, can you go ahead and start for us?
I will. Thanks, Ashley, for having me. My name is Isabella Feinberg. I'm Chief Operating Officer with Lifetime Activities. We are operators of 6 public facilities in the Bay Area in California. We offer summer camps. Last year, we hit 4,000 campers over the span of 10 weeks. And we offer camps for ages 4 to 15 years old for tennis, pickleball, badminton, basketball, and chess. We used to offer volleyball, but we've kind of stepped away from the volleyball space, but we still offer those other activities. Really, all it boils down to for the kids that do our camps is we focus on fun. For the, because they're there for 5 days, anywhere from an hour and a half to 8 hours a day. And so that's a lot of exposure to tennis, pickleball, and all the other activities that we offer. And so we try to keep it fun. We try to keep it fresh, especially since we notice that a lot of our campers are not our regular tennis students that come to class throughout the year. And so it's a great opportunity to get them really interested and engaged with the sport. And so we offer, like I said, we have 4,000 campers about every year. And so we offer different sections, and it's kind of like a menu that they can order. They want the morning tennis and afternoon pickleball, or morning tennis and afternoon badminton. So we really make it easy for easy for the parents and fun for the kids. And that's really been our formula for success.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thanks so much. Okay, Catherine and Sam, I know you guys work together closely. Don't know who wants to go.
I'll start and then I'll have Sam pick up as well. So, hi everyone. My name is Catherine Mooney. I'm the Director of Operations and Sales for two locations for Dill Dinkers in Maryland, in Montgomery County in the DC metro area. So we started running summer camps. I guess we opened in July, so probably our second year of being open, and have been doing half day camps for summer as well as spring break and winter break. And they've always been a half day. This year, we're actually going to do a full day for summer camp, so that's going to be a new venture for us. We are very fortunate to have a county teacher who works for us. So she actually built the curriculum for our camp and manages that. And she typically runs it on her own with the kids that come. And then we also have our certified coaches, pickleball coaches, who will step in and assist as well if we get a larger group for that day. So yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing how this summer goes. But the half day camps have been very successful. It's a mix of STEM activities as well as pickleball that she's built the curriculum for. So and I'll let Sam pick up a little bit more on what that looks like.
Thanks, Catherine. Hi,
Mhm.
everyone. Sam Morris. I do the programming at the two locations, North Bethesda and Rockville for Dill Dinkers. I've been there for almost 3 years now. Before that, I was a PE teacher for like 10 years. So I really have like a passion for growing the kind of youth pickleball, which is still pretty new. But we've gotten a lot of good traction over this last couple weeks, months of building up kind of grassroots of small group stuff. And hopefully that will kind of flow into these camps that we're offering. But I kind of think like the key thing that we found, at least with pickleball, is like rallying with somebody or a small group is like what's most fun, and having like that kind of small banded competitive fit, whatever level it is, where you get four kids at the same level. I think they could play for days.
Agreed.
And so could adults.
Right. Yeah. Probably even more so than the kids.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, Alex.
Yeah, hey. So yeah, we are a club. We actually run two different kinds of camps. So we have our traditional Camp Hollow Rock. We're in sorry, back up a little bit here. We're in Durham, North Carolina, at Hollow Rock. So we have two camps. One's like a traditional what we call Camp Hollow Rock. And then the other is our tennis camp, and that they're starting to incorporate some pickleball. But it's still like they do a lot of the Camp Hollow Rock kids do a lot of fun activities, and then some of them do some tennis and some of them do some pickleball. So she does a little bit of a mix there. And then our tennis camp um, primarily focuses on tennis still. Um, but yeah, we have let's see, 19 clay courts and 3 hard courts. Um, so yeah, we're a pretty big club. We actually did an early bird special this year for camp, and that was a huge hit. So we've got tons of kids that come through. Um, and yeah, our camp structure, I guess, is mostly full day. On a case by case basis, we might consider, you know, partial weeks or, you know, partial days if needed. But for the most part, they're signing up for the full week. Um, and yeah, I think that's the overview.
That's awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We're starting to get some great questions in, but I want to kind of keep the conversation going and then we'll take some questions. So let's start with kind of program design. How do you structure camps by age and skill level? And then what's the balance that you strike between development and the fun and social part? So let's talk about the age and skill level and whether you have more fun or developmental and how you balance that out. Isabella, you want to kind of get us started?
Sure. So it we advertise our camps kind of as age and beginner to intermediate, and then we have a separate advanced camp. I'm talking about tennis specifically here. And we usually get a bunch of the biggest percentage of kids in that beginning to intermediate realm, and then we break them up. So we all warm up together. We get everyone started, hit a few balls, and then the coaches kind of observe in terms of level, age, and then we divide them up per court. And then we also, once they're divided by court, we go by ball color. So whether it's red ball, orange ball, green ball, or yellow ball. And that's how we get started. That usually happens on day one, on Monday. And then on the following days, we kind of are aware of their level and we keep them there. Sometimes we'll do rotations through different stations, but for the most part, kids stay with their groups. Balancing fun and technique. That's a great question. That's something I talk about with my team all the time. It needs to be fun in order for them to want to learn. And so in terms of summer camp specifically, this is not to speak of, our junior development high performance programs, but which I still hope are fun, but obviously the focus is a little different there. Yeah. But for, entry level kids, beginners, if they're not having fun, if they're not being successful, they're not making contact with the ball, they're not going to want to come back. And so we need to find a way to build those skills and make it fun. And we do that by, we have inflatable targets and, they try to hit the dinosaur. And if someone hits the dinosaur, everyone gets, I don't know, a treat. So right. It's kind of it builds not only like individual accomplishment and skills, it teaches you to be a good team player. So that's kind of what our focus has been.
I love that. Okay. How about you, Catherine and Sam? How do you structure the camps by age and skill level? And how do you balance development versus fun and social?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
So I think for us, the challenge has been that pickleball is so new that we don't have the numbers where we can kind of divide into like courts as easily. So for us, it's kind of finding partners that like kind of work well together. And then as a coach, kind of being adaptable, having that scaffolded, tossing them a ball until they get it and then hitting it with them and so on. So making sure that our staff are knowledgeable enough to build up their skills, right, in whatever level they're at. And then kind of like Isabella mentioned, having like high success rate, right? Like whatever the game is, it's just making sure that they're having fun because they're succeeding, and then that will make them want to play more, Catherine, did you have other things to add?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, we have found that the kids who come to camp, kind of like Isabella had alluded to earlier, aren't necessarily kids that are coming into our programming on a regular basis. So they don't necessarily have they might have never played pickleball or they've only played once or twice with their parents. So we oftentimes find, honestly, that, our staff member who is running the camps, she's had to be super adaptable. We've had kids with, learning disabilities or developmental disabilities. So you have to kind of adapt for that as well and figure out, who's willing to do what. But typically we split up the day between STEM activities and pickleball. And so they'll be on the court for a portion of the day, and then they'll come off and they'll do a STEM activity. Or if they're not feeling the activity, we have a ping pong table, we have foosball, they can get back on the pickleball court and hit the ball around. So we honestly have tried to be very flexible. Of course, while we have an agenda and we have a structure, we have found a lot of days that it doesn't always go to plan. So we've had to be super flexible because you just don't know with kids. They're, they run the show when they're there. So yeah, but in terms of the structure, we have found that having some fun games that are on the court that Sam has used before or other coaches have used before that are successful, and then having those activities that are kind of maybe a little more enrichment focused has worked well for us in the past few years. Yeah.
That's great. How about you, Alex, when it comes to like, how do you structure the camps by age and skill level at Holler Rock, and then, fun versus developmental?
Yeah. So I'm actually not on court with the kids, but I see everybody doing all the stuff. So again, we have 2 camps. So I don't know, do you want to break down on both sides?
Yeah, just real quick. Yep.
Yeah. So our Camp Holler Rock, which is our more traditional camp, they do break those kids down into different age groups. So we have the really little kids that are 4 to 6 years old in one group. And they do that to make sure we've got a good ratio of camp counselors to kids to keep everybody safe. And then we've got kids 7 to 9 years old. And then the older kids 10 to 13, which tend to be a smaller group. So they're all kind of kept in their own groups, but there's a lot of crossover. Sure. So if there are siblings, they're going to see each other. They're going to do some of the games together, that kind of stuff. But we also it's both for safety and I think for, activity levels, giving the older kids something more fun for them to do and the younger kids something more safe for them to do. And then for tennis, so we have our tennis camps that are, range the gamut of, they do have to be 7. We don't do red ball in our tennis camp. So they have to be 7 and up. And then we also have other camps that are kind of separate from tennis, like our select camps that are for the tournament playing kids. And that's a morning camp, so they can do that in the morning and then come and join tennis camp for the rest of the day if they need somewhere to stay for the rest of the day. And then we also have a limited kind of series of a school boot camp, which is in the afternoons. And that's just, I don't know, probably 4 to 6 weeks. It's not every single week of the summer, but multiple weeks out of the summer we'll offer that. Okay. So that's kind of the breakdown of all the different camps. And as far as game, kind of similar to what everybody else has said, there's a combination of doing some fun games and water activities and stuff to cool them off. Plus everybody gets time in the pool for each of the camps. So they just do a pretty good mix of those kind of things. And then particularly like for the tennis camp where there's some younger kids, when it's a hot day, they might send some of those kids inside to do an inside activity with the Camp Hollow Rock kids. Camp Hollow Rock has some special events each week. So like there's a day that some animals will come in, like they'll bring in recovering wildlife animals that from one of the rehab places locally. Yeah. That's one afternoon activity. And then they have a magician that comes one afternoon. So stuff like that. And it's indoor activities so they can come in and cool off, especially if it's super hot that week. Yes. For some of the younger kids. So
okay.
So yeah.
That's awesome. So the questions are great. I see you guys with your questions. Keep them up. But I think we're going to actually answer some of them because we're going to talk next about pricing and demand. So when do you open registration? What pricing strategy has worked for you guys? Do you use like an early bird or tiered pricing or a sibling pricing? And then talk about how quickly those camps typically fill up. So we'll talk about this and then we'll answer a bunch of questions. So Isabella, you want to start?
Sure. We usually sell our camps at our 6 locations in late February. That's when we open registration.
Okay.
Just because people like to plan early. And typically we offer enough spaces so that if you're signing up for, our most popular camp is the 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. 7 to 15-year-old tennis camp. And then around that, you have other options for the other activities. And so those are usually what get full first, at least historically. Lifetime's been around for 34 years at this point. And so we've seen a shift though with the demand for more all day. Now that gets full first at some places because parents want childcare. Right. They want their kids tired when they get home so that because at summer they're not at school. And so we're seeing those two are really our best sellers. So we do start selling them in February, usually depending on the location. Our bigger city locations like San Francisco and Silicon Valley, those sell out the all day first. Our more suburban locations sell out the morning camps first. We have done a bunch of different promotions. We've tried different things throughout the years. 2 years ago, we did a sign up for 3, get 1 week free.
Okay.
And, so we're hoping that, sorry, Ashley, CourtReserve will have our discount codes and promo codes ready to go sometime soon, because that would be super helpful if we do something again. Last year, we just did an overall price adjustment. We didn't raise prices year over year, and that seemed to encourage people to sign up. This year, we're actually experimenting with the idea of a bring a friend. We did pilot something like that for tennis camp. So it's like BOGO 50% off on the second registration, whether it's your family member or a friend, because tennis is not an easy sport to learn. And you have a lot more fun when you have a friend to learn it with. And so that's kind of what we're trying this year. And we're really excited about that because we've had some good success with that for our spring classes.
I love that. How many weeks in the summer are you guys running summer camps, Isabella?
We typically there's 10 weeks of summer break in this area, but we do 11 just to get some private schools
Okay.
as well. We try to offer as many weeks of summer as we can because each school district's a little different.
Okay. That's awesome. All right, great. How about you, Catherine and Sam? So really, when do you open registration? What's your pricing strategy been? The early bird or tiered or sibling? And how do those fill up often?
Yeah, I'll let Sam speak to the pricing strategy portion. We typically try to open it up in January. We find that parents are starting to look early for options for summer camp. And then, we start like hitting the marketing pretty hard and now essentially in the spring months to help encourage people to sign up. We don't necessarily do early bird pricing or anything like that. It's just we have a daily price and then a weekly price that we charge. And so, and then we do, of course, we have people who are members, so they get a discount as well. And then if they're signing up for, if they have multiple kids, they get a discount. And then if they're signing up for multiple weeks, there's a discount. So there is an opportunity for them to save money. And we've done a couple different things in terms of promotions and such. I don't know that we have anything that like worked consistently, but we actually find that people sign up late. Like there were times in the summer where like the week before there was like two kids and then a couple days before it's almost full. It's really strange. I'm not really sure. People are just like planning last minute based on summer vacations and such. Our school year here got extended until the end of June. So we actually had to cancel technically the first week of camp that we had scheduled and push week one back another week. So that was so I think we're down. I think we're at 9 weeks for
Okay.
this summer for the full day camp. And I'll let Sam kind of because again we're going from a half day to a full day. Sam did some research and we all kind of looked at some county, what's going on in the county. Montgomery, our county Rec and Parks offers camps and things like that. So just looking at some comparisons of pricing. But I'll let Sam go into that because he did the research on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we are kind of guessing this first summer, right, of what people will pay. But we are relatively busy at North Bethesda just during the day in general, right? So we're trying to price in kind of what we would make if we didn't do the camp, since it takes up so much court time. So right now we priced it at 125 for a day for like a drop-in, or 500 for the week, I think it is, and that's with 8-to-1 kids to a court.
Okay.
So I think we can, our one staff member can do 8-to-1 by herself, and then as we get bigger, then we just add a coach who will be on court with kids as it grows.
Okay. That's great. Thank you so much. All right, Alex, Holler Rock. So talk about when you guys open up registration, what's your pricing strategy? Because you guys are, that private club that's a little different than the public. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. So yeah, we have 10 weeks of camp. And there is member and non-member pricing. So there is a slight difference there. So for the first time ever, we actually did early bird this year, which we've never done before. So we opened our registration, I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was maybe it was the last 2 weeks of December. It was really late in December. We just went ahead and opened it. We were going to do it for January 1st, I think, but just decided to go ahead and get it started. And that, I don't know if it was the early bird special, but we definitely filled up pretty quick. And that's, I mean, we usually fill up at some point, but to fill up that early was interesting. So yeah, I'm actually happy to hear there's going to be like a discount structure, I guess, coming soon, because that was one of the hurdles. So we did the early bird special. We also offer a sibling discount.
Okay.
So if they bring a sibling, there's another 10% off. And then of course that ended at the end of January. So then February 1st, regular pricing kicked back in. We still have the member and non-member pricing, and we still do the sibling discount. So it's just the early bird ended. What's the other question?
I think that when you open registration, pricing strategy,
Yeah.
discount early bird, I think you nailed it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's go through some of the questions because I don't want to get too far behind. And so these will just kind of be rapid fire just so we can kind of get through them. Are all of your coaches background checked?
Yes.
Yes.
That all our employees are background checked because we deal with youth.
Okay.
Whether you're a front desk staff member, our maintenance team, I had to be background checked.
Okay.
We're all background checked and Safe Play certified. Well, Safe Play certified is for our coaches and our leadership, as well as CPR and TB testing. So that is a requirement for us because we do work with public facilities, even though we are a private company that contracts and provides these services.
Okay, great. How about you, Catherine and Sam? Everybody background checked?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. What about for you, Alex?
Yeah, everybody who's employed, yes, is background checked. And then the coaches are all Safe Play.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
It's Safe Play just for USTA tennis, right? It's not for pickleball, right? Is that right?
That I know of, yes.
Safe Place through USTA?
Safe Play is through USTA, but it has some things that I think apply to any sort of sport or athletic.
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, and in any space you deal with kids, I think it's extremely helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. I'm starting a new summer camp this year. I wanted to know what form the parents need to fill out to cover the facility and to have all the information we need. Would one of the speakers share their registration form? So is there like a public website that your registration form is on that maybe folks we could send them to take a look about how you guys capture information? Well, first, do you guys capture your camp registrations through CourtReserve or do you use another platform?
Everybody 100% CourtReserve.
Yes,
okay.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have like custom fields set up, custom questions that that they fill out that are required. So it's like the kid's name and age. Do they have any dietary restrictions? Because we do provide snacks and things like that. And we just want to know that. And then who's picking up and dropping off the child. And then just any like other notes about them that would be helpful for us.
Okay.
So everybody has to fill that out when they're registering on CourtReserve.
Okay. So in the event you add the custom field questions and then they can fill that out on their side. And then they can sign that true event waiver now that we did last year as well. So, okay. Let's see. Lifetime starts at age 4. How about the other two? So Alex, you said nobody under 7 for tennis, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And how about for you guys, Catherine and Sam?
5 through 13.
5 through 13. Okay. Very good. Is a registration fee a norm in the summer camp program? You mean, I'm assuming they're saying it's a registration fee plus a fee for the camp, but you guys just charge per camp, correct?
Per
camper. Yeah. We just charge per camper. Yeah.
For the week we control it within the week.
Let's see. How long ahead do you start promoting your camps? I think we've all gone over that. I did have a lady at Catalyst in January here in St. Augustine. I can't remember what club she was from, but she said that she opens up her next year's summer camp registration at summer camp that summer because parents are already planning ahead. And she had great success because it was top of mind for next year. Yeah. So just a shout out to whoever that was.
Wow.
Yeah. She said, because then the parents don't have to worry about it and they're already scheduled for next summer. So I thought that was some great advice. Where would you say is the best way to advertise or target your potential players or summer campers, I guess? Any feedback from any of you guys on that?
We've found we have so we'll go directly to the PTAs at the school and give them the flyers and such. So we advertise within the schools and our staff member, because she works for the county, she's helped with that to let teachers know and let the PTA know and see if the school can get it into their newsletters. And then we just try to put it out, in public places around the county, whether it's Starbucks or, grocery stores, like places like that where people are going. And then we typically do some social media advertising as well, just like boosted ads on Facebook and things like that, and using those kind of target parameters that they let you put in when you're doing ads. So that's typical. And then of course we blast it, to our own distribution list within CourtReserve as well.
Sure. Okay. How about you, Isabella?
Right. We have across our 6 locations, we probably have a total of about 150,000 people on our, because we work with large cities. And so if you've ever taken a program or reserved a court with us, we have your information. CourtReserve has great ways to kind of filter your distribution list, so you're just not blasting every single person in your distribution list. So thank you for that. So we do targeted email blasts. So we give out little handouts in our programs. We introduce promos like bring a friend and bring someone in. And really our focus in the last couple of years has just really been to provide a great experience so that people will bring friends or tell other people about it, make it a positive experience for parents, because they like to plan together in terms of carpool pickup and drop off and what to do with the kids after camp. They take turns and do things like that. So just really ultimately we believe that we don't need to have a substantial marketing budget if you're doing a good job and giving people a good experience.
Love that. How about you, Alex?
Yeah, pretty much everything everybody said, but the only thing I would add is one of our camp directors is a parent herself. And so she gets in a lot of the groups on social media for like moms and stuff that, for certain areas of our community here that are kind of looking for whatever. And then camps will be one of them. And so then she'll kind of throw Hollow Rock out there.
I love it.
So kind of getting in some of those groups too. Yeah.
Okay. That's a great idea. All right. Some more quick fire questions. What are the campers to teacher or instructor ratio? Isabella, do you have one?
Yes. So for our red balls, our 4 to 6 year olds, we do 5 to 1, just because, the little ones often are swinging rackets around. We just want to make sure everyone's safe and still having fun. And so we do a smaller ratio for the younger kids. We do a 5 to 1. And for our 7 and above, we do 8 to 1.
Okay. That's what Alex said too, right? You said 8 to 1, Alex?
I think they're actually at 6 to 1.
6 to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We're 8 to 1.
8 to 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Wondering about typical pricing for a junior camp. Wondering about typical pricing for a 3-hour junior camp. Also 4 days. I'm not sure about that question. Let me go to the next one. Does any club ever face the challenge of too few registrants for a specific program or event, or do you have a minimum per participant number? If so, how do you manage that?
Yes. So there are, in the Bay Area, it can get really hot in the summer in the afternoon for the 1 to 4 p.m. camp. Sometimes we don't, in the week leading up to camp, that Monday camp for that week, we might have 2 or 3 people. In an 8 to 1 ratio, we aim for half, or for an odd number, half plus 1. So for 5 to 1, we need 3 people. For an 8 to 1, we need at least 4. And if we don't get that, we don't get to that number for our less attended camps Wednesday, Thursday before that Monday, we start to call people and call the people that are registered. Say, hey, do you have a friend that would like to join? We might need to cancel your camp. We'd love to have you guys, but we don't have enough. If you have a cousin or a friend, please encourage them to join. It's more fun if they do it together. And so that's kind of what we do. And there are times where there is a different camp running at the same time. We'll combine it. We'll let the parent know, hey, we didn't get enough for this specific camp, but we'll do a little bit of tennis and pickleball because we're combining youth pickleball camp with the tennis camp. So that's kind of what we do.
I like that. Okay. How about for you guys, Catherine and Sam?
Yeah, ours is similar. We try to make that decision, maybe by the Friday before, and start calling people to let them know so they can make alternative plans. Since we only have the one camp, unfortunately there's we'll try to offer them alternatives if we have other kids programming going on at the same time. Or we'll just try to move them to a different week if we can, just so we're not losing the revenue altogether. But yeah, we try to get 4, just so that there's enough kids to play with each other, and then the instructor and the
okay,
camp coordinator can manage it from there.
Okay. How about you, Alex? What do you do for classes that are not a minimum?
I'm probably the only camps we've had, and this is an issue, might be the school boot camp, which is an afternoon camp, or possibly some of the select camps, which are just half day in the morning. And we'll either just do some targeted marketing to those parents and see if anybody's interested. And then if it's really just way too small, then they would cancel. But usually we can do some good targeted emails first. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Yes, we are currently working on promo codes and discount codes, so stay tuned. It's a high priority for our product team, so I love that, and hopefully maybe this will push them. Right, everybody needs them for summer camp.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's see. There's a question. Where do you add the custom fields for registrations in CourtReserve? Definitely go out to our support team and they can show you exactly how to do that. Once you do it once, it's pretty easy. We can definitely help you do that. Here's a question. Do you focus on moms for your marketing? That's a good one. I would say all, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think there's a lot more like non-traditional families now where dads are staying at home and such. So
Yeah.
typically, like when we put flyers up, we put them in the men's room and the women's room because you never know, that,
That's
and maybe
right.
if they see it and they tell their significant other, fine, but you just never know who's looking and paying attention. So, yeah, but there do tend to be more like mom groups out there, on social media and things like that, but we just try to hit everybody we can.
That's a great here's a great one. If your courts are outdoors, how do you manage rain days? Do you offer make good or just cancel and refund the prorated amount? Isabella, that's probably for you and Alex.
That is a great question. Thankfully, in California, our summers are pretty dry, but we do offer camps on President's Day and MLK Day, and so there have been times where it rains. Each of our facilities is laid out a little differently. We have some that have indoor spaces where they can transition and do something inside. They'll watch, a recorded tennis match and talk about strategy or things like that. So depending on how large the camp is, if we have all day kids, they get, we kind of see if we can do the indoor portion first, maybe some table tennis, some chess, and then once the courts are dry, then we transition them outside. So, people don't sign up for camp to get a refund. That's what I tell my team all the time. They don't sign up for camp because they want to get a refund. They sign up for camp because they want an experience. And so we work with our team and with the resources and facilities that we have in order to still, so that the kids still have fun and stay occupied, learn something, make friends. And we kind of just hope the weather stays good. And if it doesn't, we have a plan to kind of still keep them because the parents, they have to work, right?
Right. That's right.
They can't just drop everything and pick up their kid. And we really recognize that and make every effort to provide an experience that they find value in still.
Yeah, that's great. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, pretty similar. So we don't tend to cancel if there's rain. Luckily, North Carolina, we do get summer thunderstorms. A lot of the times it will be kind of towards the tail end of the day, which makes for an interesting pickup. But yeah, if we do have like an earlier day storm, usually they're kind of short-lived. They move in, move out. So they'll usually find something for the kids to do either indoors or, if it's just like a slow rain or something like that, that's not a huge thunderstorm, they'll do some different drills and stuff on the covered patio. So they just get creative and find some different activities for them to do until it's safe enough to go back outside. Yeah.
All right. So Catherine, this is really for you, I think. What type of STEM activities are you guys doing with your campers?
Yeah, so the person on my team who does the camp, she is a STEM teacher with the county. So she's done like you get on a ladder and do like an egg drop. You do like we've done that, which she did over the carpet. So we had egg on the carpet for a little bit. So I was like, let's not do that again. But yeah, like an egg drop. She's had them make like little like planes with, or like little cars, like to kind of see the gravity. So she always has like a theme of like whatever the activity is. So if it's like if it's gravity, if it's motion, like some type of STEM related topic, and then she builds the activity around that. And then if like the week falls within a holiday, we might have some like coloring sheets or something holiday specific that she'll do as well. So I can I don't know if you're sending anything out. I can try to get like a sampling of some of the activities that she's done just because there's been a lot that she's done over the past few years, but I can at least pull some of the ideas that she's done and send them to you just so if you want to distribute those. Yeah, just because she literally would have a different thing every day. And then like, on the Fridays we would do tie dye or, bringing something into tie dye or something like that. So it's kind of varied a bit. And then of course, if you have kids that are doing multiple weeks of camp, we've had to switch up the activities to make sure that they're not getting the same thing. So that has also, she's always got like a plan B.
Love that. Yeah.
Really,
We'll
so,
definitely, we can send
yeah.
that out to our first.
Yeah, I'll make sure to send that to you today.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Yes, they're all using CourtReserve for camp registrations. Do your campers receive any kind of camp swag like t-shirts or gifts? Isabella, you want to go first?
Yes, we do. So, well, campers and parents, there was a question earlier, how do you get information to parents? And we actually do a camp guide that we have on our website and we email out. So it's like a little digital booklet that has everything they need to know as a parent in terms of camp policies, all that. But in terms of the kids, they get the fun stuff. They get we do something different every year. We've done a lot of t-shirts in the past. The challenge with that is sizing. Sometimes kids grow really quickly from when mom signed up, even if we took their size, and now it's a crop top, and some parents might not want a crop top for their kids because they ordered a smaller size than they wanted, than they actually needed when camp started. But so last couple of years we've done camp sling bags, and so that's where they keep their stuff. We gave out a tennis ball so that they can practice at home, because again, you get a lot of tennis at the camp, but if you don't practice and you don't go home and play over the weekend, then it's easy for them to move on to something else, and we want them to stay in tennis or in pickleball. And so yeah, we've done a branded like sling tote bag, and it also keeps our lost and found less full, because kids are putting things in their camp bag and not losing it. And so we give them Sharpies, they can write their name on their camp bag so that they also don't get lost. So we've done a couple different things, but I think the camp bag has been great. Even though the t-shirts are great marketing, I've seen our camp t-shirts out in the wild. It's just projecting what kind of sizing we need well ahead of time. It has been difficult because, again, ranging from ages 4 to 16, it's a little challenging to order enough shirts in the right sizes.
Yeah. How about you, Catherine and Sam? Swag?
We have not done swag. I mean, because we're doing the STEM activities, they take them home. So, if they're making something, it's like a craft that they can take home. So that's typically been the take home thing that they get. Just from like a budgetary standpoint, we just want to make sure that we're, making the margins, and, we're kind of on a smaller scale than, what Isabel and Alex are doing. So we haven't, but I think the crafts and being able to take something home and like show, when the parent comes and picks another, like, look what I made. So I think that, that is kind of our form of swag at this point.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
How about you guys, Alex?
Yeah, we're still doing t-shirts. So we just order a ton of t-shirts. And we usually end up with extras that we'll just end up using for our junior programming later in the year. So yeah.
Isabella?
Sorry, I forgot to mention the 4 to 6 year olds. They're, we've focused on that because we've noticed that the pipeline has kind of has gotten smaller for that age group. Not a lot of kids that age are going into tennis. And so we've, in the last couple of years, have paid more attention to that group and really give them a much richer experience. We do charge a little bit more too, because the ratio is smaller, but we started this thing called a Little Tennis Passport. So it's basically a little sticker book where there's like cartoon animals playing tennis, and then they get stickers as rewards when they complete a drill or do a good ball pickup.
Oh yeah.
And then the little tennis guys get a little medal too at the end that says like tennis superstar on it, with a certificate that said they completed camp at the end of the week. And it's just really cute, and parents love it. The older kids are not, it's like, what am I going to do with this medal? They're not as excited about the medals or the certificates, but definitely the little kids, we have them take a photo at the end of camp with their certificate, their medal, their bag, which is like half their body because it's a big bag. And then like the ginormous Wilson tennis racket. That's really fun. And I think focusing on that age group has been really beneficial for us to ensure the pipeline continues and, tennis continues with each generation. I think that was really important to us as well.
I love that. All right, some more rapid fire questions because they're just good. Let's see. We kind of talked about the ratio of kids to instructors already. You guys feel that that's the good that you'll continue with the ratio with the instructor to kid ratio? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do you handle liability insurance waivers and safety procedures, like taking kids to the bathroom versus letting them go to a building by themselves? CourtReserve includes a liability waiver option with program signups registrations. So how do you guys handle the operational side of that, right? Like taking the kids to the bathroom versus letting them go by themselves? Isabella?
We never let kids go by themselves if we can absolutely avoid it. Usually when we're running multiple courts of camp at once, the first order of business is they do take a break, like a 10-minute, the kids take a 10-minute break, and we go as a group to the bathroom. We shut down the bathrooms and have the kids go one by one into whichever. And we have instructors or counselors that are of both genders, and so they can they all go at the same time, and so there's a lot of supervision there. But also if there's an emergency and someone needs to go when it's not a break, then we actually have, they'll page the office and the office will send out a front desk team member to escort the child to the bathroom, have them go in by themselves. But I think the protocol is to keep the main door to the bathroom open, and so that we can hear what's going on in there.
Right. Okay. How about for you guys, Catherine and Sam?
I mean, we, within our facility, it's pretty easy to like see the restroom and stuff. Typically, if they, we do have them break at the same time, similarly for like 15 minutes or so. So, whoever the instructor, the coach is, might take them to the restroom, and we have staff members that are there, so we can always watch the remaining group of kids. So yeah, we try. I mean, I would say we try to avoid having them go on their own unless they're a little bit older. But I think even still, like we always know where they are. We know if they're in the bathroom or whatever it is. We try to keep eyes on them at all times. So
same
and
for
we
you
have them
guys.
sign.
Oh, yep.
I was going to say, sorry, we have them sign the waivers in CourtReserve. They sign the liability waiver in our code of conduct when they create an account. So it should already be on there. So that's typically taken care of. We don't have like an additional waiver for camp. They just sign the liability waiver. So.
Okay. How about for you guys, Alex? About the same?
Yeah, pretty much. I think the only other than the break and everybody going at the same time is if there is a one-off kid that goes, they try to send 2 counselors with them. So
just for protection, 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, let's talk about your cancellation policies for camp. What about you, Isabella?
So in general, all our programs, we have a 14-day cancellation policy. So 14-day before the first day. So if it's a Monday start for camp, 2 weeks before that Monday, you can get a refund back to your form of payment minus a processing fee, because it does take, there is a fee associated, especially if it's refunding to a credit card, and it does take our team time to manage that as well. And so that's where you can get a refund to your original form of payment minus a processing fee. If it's more than 7 days but less than 14 days, then it's an account credit. If it's less than 7 days, we don't allow withdrawals or refunds, just because we've already planned ahead for that in terms of how many kids are there, preparing when we were doing t-shirts, sizing and all that, kind of chopping kids up into groups for the kids that we do know in terms of which court they're going to be on. So usually less than 7 days, because we don't allow withdrawals. However, if there is an extenuating circumstance, obviously sometimes exceptions are made. And if someone, for example, had to withdraw from camp midweek due to a medical reason, we do a credit on account for the remaining days that they can use for another camp.
Good. How about you guys, Catherine?
We are a little more flexible. We typically let people withdraw up to, really for any of our programs, up to 3 hours in advance. So that's just been kind of what our process has always been. And of course, if it's less than 3 hours, then we'll just let them know, hey, unfortunately, you're not eligible for a credit. And then of course, there's always those situations where if there's a death in the family or something happens that's like completely out of the norm, then, of course, we'll make exceptions where we can. But yeah, we've just found that things fluctuate a lot. So it's just, we try to give them space to withdraw if they need to. So.
Okay. How about you guys, Alex?
Yeah, we might be a little bit more strict. So we have over 30 days if they cancel. So basically anytime now, if they cancel, they get a full refund minus a $50 service charge. And then from 14 days to 29 days, they can get a refund less 50% camp fees. And then if it's 2 weeks prior to camp or within that 2 weeks, then we don't do refunds. But kind of similarly to everybody else, if there's a death in the family, stuff like that, obviously we will work with them in some way. But generally, these are our parameters. Yeah.
Okay. There's been a couple questions about photo video releases. Do you have the parents sign a photo video release for kids camp, Isabella?
Yes, that is baked into our general waiver already. And we do include in the parent guide that photos are taken, and we give them the option to opt out of any photos. They just need to email their camp director.
Okay. Do you guys do it any differently, Catherine or Alex?
Ours is in the waiver as well, although we don't have the opt-out thing, so I do like that. That might be something that we want to add in. And usually if parents aren't comfortable, they've told us pretty much straight up when they register or when they come in that day or whatever it is. So we'll of course make sure we're accommodating that. But yeah, ours is in the waiver that everybody signs.
Okay. How about you, Alex?
Yeah. Oh, pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Alex, this must be more for you. What's the average cost of a t-shirt be just for budgeting purposes? And have you tried ball caps yet?
We have not done caps. They tend to be more expensive. I take that back. I don't think we've ever tried. It's hard to get a cap for little kids, right? So I don't think we've ever actually tried because that would be challenging. But the ones we sell in our pro shop tend to be more expensive. And t-shirts tend to be, they're going to range a little bit. Probably anywhere from $8 each to around $10 each.
Okay.
Depending on for the little kids, they might be a little cheaper. So they tend to range anywhere from about maybe $7 or $8 to $10 each.
Okay. Isabella?
So we haven't done caps for camps per se, but we've done them for our other programs. It's called our tennis acceleration program. It's basically signing up for tennis for 9 months out of the year. So it's a school year program. So it's kind of a specialized program for us. We do it for both kids and adults. This last year we did caps with the program logo on it, and they were very well received. We only had to do 2 different sizes, adult and youth. And that went really well. It was about, I think, between $17 and $22 per cap. And that's why we kind of use that, not in a summer camp program, but more of the kind of year-round program.
Yeah, because there's also another question on here, like, is there an approximate percentage that your summer camp revenue, contributes to your annual revenue goals? Do you guys look at summer camp and know about what that looks like, Isabella?
Yes. I just need a minute. I'm going to look it up because I had that up on another page. I will get back to you.
All right. How about you guys, Catherine, Sam? Do you know what that would be or what you strive for?
Yeah, we look at our revenue typically on a monthly basis. Of course, we do look at it yearly, but when we're thinking about goals, we set them on a monthly basis. So, to be honest, like camp kind of tends to be the gravy on top, that because we have all of our other programming that's running during the day. So, we of course, always want to break even between materials and the staff pay and things like that. But, we don't necessarily, it's not like we're not necessarily relying on that revenue. It's just, it's great to have on top of everything else.
Isabella, you got enough?
Yep, I have an answer. I just had to go to the right slide. So in 2025, camps were about 9.7% of our overall revenue. So it's not nothing. It's, number 4.
Sure.
In terms of how big of a percentage of our revenue it is. But yeah, it's a big deal. Camp has the potential to really push our business forward in the ways that we need it to. And really it's mostly the top 4 adult classes is our number 1, youth classes is number 2, court rentals is number 3, and youth camps is number 4. And so it really boils down to the student experience or the player experience. And those are, 4 really important areas to, redirect our focus in order to provide good experiences to help grow the business.
That's awesome. I know we only have a few minutes left, and I really got two more questions that I want to get through. A lot of folks are asking about how you are putting in the camps, whether they're half day, full day, each week into CourtReserve. If you could quickly talk about how you guys are doing that, that might be helpful for them to kind of understand just how you're putting it in CourtReserve to get the parents to sign up for a half day or a full day.
In terms of how we program them
Yep,
into
I think
events?
so, into CourtReserve. Yep.
Yes, so we use events, and each camp type is, well, each week of camp per camp type is one event.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of how we do it.
And then you do multiple weeks of that same camp type.
Yes, and the copy feature is great for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys do the same, Catherine, Alex?
Yeah, each week is its own event. And then we do give them the option within each event if they want to do, like we can say you can sign up for the full event or you can sign up for just one day. So if they do want to do a day or multiple days or whatever, so we do turn on that option as well. But yeah, so we copy and paste once we set up the one. We don't do both half day and full day, so it's just a full day for us. I don't know, I don't know what that looks like for other clubs, but yeah,
So
it's
you
just
do.
one
So
event.
if it's full, if it's a full day, then it's one event. If it's a half day, it's another event in CourtReserve.
Right, of
Yeah.
course, yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
imagine so.
Any different for you, Alex?
No. So it's just the one event for the full week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
All right.
will say, sorry, Ashley,
go
just
ahead.
really quick.
Yeah.
From a parent perspective, I think having the filters on the left-hand side in terms of sessions and camp type for categories and age tags, we use the tags for ages. It helps because there's so many options and age groups and so many weeks. It helps parents find the week they want. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last question for our fantastic panelists for today. What is the biggest mistake that you have seen with summer camps that you want to caution people against, right? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned over the years doing summer camps that you're like, don't do this instead?
I need a minute to think about that. Maybe we go in reverse
got
order
anything?
this time.
All right. We're going to make Sam
Making it
go.
not fun.
Oh,
Right, of
okay.
course, yeah.
So too developmental.
Yeah, right. Like kids are there to have fun, be social, They probably couldn't care less about getting that much better.
That's good advice. Yeah. How about
Just
you,
being-
Alex? Oh, go ahead, Catherine.
I was gonna say, just being flexible. Like, I think when we went into it like gung ho with a plan, we're like, okay, this is how it's gonna go. And then some of those weeks it did not. We have kids throwing up in a trash can. We have kids crying for their parent. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know how kids are gonna react. And so we, I would say, just go into it. Like, of course, have a plan, but don't be in a mindset where you're like, this is what we're gonna do, because kids, like I said, they are gonna do what they want to do most of the time. So just be flexible, be malleable. I think that's been the biggest lesson that we've learned, and just kind of be ready for whatever is thrown your way that day or that week. So,
how about you, Alex?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I talked to one of our camp directors before this for an idea, and we were talking more about CourtReserve stuff. So I don't have an answer for this one.
All right.
Yeah.
All is well, like a Holler Rock and Durham. All right, Isabella, wrap us up.
I don't think there's one big event or big mistake, but I think over the last, 30 years, what we've learned is you really need to invest in the right type of coach, the right type of camp counselor. In order for your campers to have a good experience, they need to be someone that, number one, likes kids. That's very important. And wants them to have a good time, and in some ways is kind of a kid themselves, because if they're too strict or too serious, the kids aren't going to have fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we started doing over the last couple of years, which I wish we'd done much, we started a long time ago, is really getting more data and more feedback. So we've started doing parent surveys at the end of each couple camp weeks to just get a feel for, is your kid liking it? What can we do better? Because we can try a bunch of different things and we have a lot of ideas within our team, but ultimately we're here to serve the community. Yep. And we want to hear what they have to say so that we can better meet their needs and the needs of their kids.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. I hope this has been so helpful, and we'll put this up on YouTube. And thanks to all my panelists today. Hope you guys have a great day.
Thank
So
you.
Ashley,
Thank
if you can
you.
get a survey tied, like
In the
a survey
CourtReserve.
option at the end of camp, that would be great. I think that would be awesome.
I love it. I'm putting it on the product board.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Ashley. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
See
Thanks,
ya.
Ashley.
Bye.
Have a great day.